Salutations from Wizard Studios. I am the Wizard. We got a news episode. Let's get straight into it. So Khabib wants to fight Floyd Mayweather. 11 rounds in boxing, 1 round in MMA. What is going on? Alright? We do not need to do that. We do not need to do that. Khabib needs to stick strictly to mixed martial arts, and that is it. That's it. Nothing else. Nada. Alright? He is the best 155-pound MMA fighter in the world. Bar none. There is not another... There is no one else right now. Alright? Maybe Tony. We'll find out. But right now it's Khabib. I'll tell you what it's doing is it's putting his name out there, and that's great. But Khabib's serious, okay? He's serious. He wants to fight Floyd. He thinks he can beat him. He thinks that he can beat Floyd Mayweather. And that's just the kind of mentality Khabib has, okay? He's built different. But the thing is, Floyd will beat the snot out of Khabib for 11 rounds. He could knock him out. Khabib could never be the same. We don't want to see that. We don't want to have... We don't even want to... Even if Khabib could make it to that 12th round where he could take Floyd down and smash him and submit him, we don't want to see that. So, yeah, let's just not even go there. I don't even want to have that conversation. Khabib is the best 155-pound fighter in the world in mixed martial arts. We already saw that when Conor fought Floyd. It was good. It was fun. But it wasn't even close in my book. So... that's just my take on it. Brian Ortega slaps Jay Park. Now, this is really interesting. This is really interesting. I think that Brian Ortega messed up pretty bad here. It doesn't matter what Jay Park did or what Jay Park said. Brian Ortega should have never put his hands on him, in my opinion. I just think that Brian Ortega messed up. I think he messed up. He's an MMA fighter, you know. He's one of the best featherweight fighters in the world. In the world. You can say what you want to about, you know, him being street or without giving him street cred, you know. No, man. No. He's one of the best featherweights in the world. He just fought for the title. You can't go around doing this type of thing. This is terrible. This is awful. This is the kind of stuff that'll put you in jail. This is the kind of stuff that'll put you in jail. So, I hope that Brian Ortega learns from this, because I think he's a great guy. I don't think that this is his kind of character. I don't think this is a good representation of his character now. I think this was a momentary lapse in judgment, and that he will get back on track very soon. And if I'm wrong, then, you know, I hate it, because I really like Brian Ortega. And I hope that, you know, I'm right, and that this is all going to be a thing of the past real soon. because we don't want to see this. I'm sure that all of you are Brian Ortega fans too, right? I mean, that fight with Max Holloway was amazing. Like, that is the Brian Ortega everybody wants to see. You know, the guy doing stuff for kids. We want to see that Brian Ortega. You know, teaching jiu-jitsu to kids who don't have anything. I really, really hate to see him like this. It's not a good representation of his character. Like, I feel like this is not him. I feel like it's a dream. This is awful. This is awful. He needs to do something fast to change his image. He needs to start kissing babies. He needs to hold events saying he's sorry to Jay Park. Like, he needs to do something immediately. Like, dude, I don't know, but like right now, his image is screwed. He needs to do that, or either, like, people are just going to be not wanting to see Brian Ortega for a while. If he runs and hides right now, then you got to come out and you got to face the music and you got to say, hey, I was wrong. This is what I'm going to do to fix it. That's what he needs to do. He has to do something immediately to rectify his actions, because his actions were so severe. You know, I know Dana White played it off like it was just a scuffle with Korean Zombie's translator, but this dude is a multi-platinum artist from what I understand, and he's already, like, you know, going out and making sure that people know that Brian Ortega messed up, which he did. He did mess up. So, you know, this dude is a civilian. Like, it is bad, man. It's terrible. You can't do that. You know, I know, like, everybody, like, wants that street cred stuff. Like, I know that. I know that's a big thing, but it's just not right. It's just not right. I don't want to beat a dead bush. I've already been doing that. So, let's just move on. Ryan Hall finds a fight with Ricardo Lamas at UFC Oklahoma City. Ooh, boy. I think this is going to be a good fight. I see Ryan Hall getting the win, but Ricardo Lamas has excellent submission defense, first of all. I know we all said that about BJ Penn, but BJ Penn was way past his prime. Way past his prime, okay? He just wasn't the same BJ Penn. Let's be honest. He was not the same BJ Penn. He was a completely different fighter. Ricardo Lamas, even though he's been on a little bit of a skid, I believe he's gotten a win since then, if I'm not mistaken. Also, he has got he's just a great, well-rounded fighter, first of all. Second of all, I believe he's going to push Ryan Hall. Now, like I said, I believe Ryan Hall will get the win. This is an excellent matchup. I'm not going to go too far into it because, of course, we'll break it down later. But I really believe that this is going to be Ryan Hall's toughest test to date. I really believe we'll see him pushed like we've never seen before. Like we've never seen before. You know, maybe one of those fights of the night. Maybe getting fight of the night. I really believe it could get fight of the night. You know, it might be one of those. And you never really, Ryan Hall's not that type, you know, fight of the night guy. But Ricardo Lamas is. And he could be the guy to push Ryan Hall, is what I'm saying. Because he has that style. And I think that this could be a sneaky, sneaky good fight. I really do. I really do. I got that feeling about it. This is like the best possible opponent that Ryan Hall could have gotten. And I gotta say this. Ryan Hall has been turning down fights too. Okay? Now I know a bunch of people turned down fights with him, and that sucks, okay? Yes, that sucks. If you can't get fights in front of you, that sucks. But people have been trying to get fights in front of them too, with Ryan Hall. And he's been turning them down. So Ryan, think about that. Next time somebody turns down a fight with you, just think about that, buddy. Remember, whenever you point a finger, you always have a few pointing right back at you. So, I do believe Ryan Hall gets that win, though. I'll just say that. We'll end it on that. Probably by heel hook. Now, DC and Stipe trilogy is being targeted for the summer. Right? What a relief this is. I really believe that everybody is going to sleep better knowing that this fight is going to happen for sure now. Because, I mean, DC, first of all, even if you don't like DC, you love DC. I mean, he's like one of those guys that just holds a place in every chubby guy's heart, you know? Like, he's just out there doing the darn thing. And he's the first chubby double champ. So, yeah. Good for him. Good for him. And that little skit with Popeyes, you know, golly, just right there. But Daniel Cormier getting one last shot at the title before he retires, like, after everything that he's been through, you have to appreciate that, right? You have to sit back and, like, feel good for the guy. Because, like, at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, Daniel Cormier has given a lot to the sport of mixed martial arts. He knocked out Stipe Miocic. He won the Strike Force Grand Prix. All right, we can't forget about that. He's a double champ. You say what you want to about that, but the guy's a double champ. Don't matter what you want to say about John Jones. The guy is awesome. He's one of the best to ever do it. And if he goes out, if he leaves the sport as the heavyweight champion of the world, what negative thing can you say about the guy? What, he didn't beat John Jones? Who has? Who's beaten him? Not one person. Not one. I think that DC is just, you know, he came in to the sport a little too late, and he's still accomplished pretty much more than anybody. And he's just been a great mentor for so many young people. Just an all-around great guy. I'm so happy. I'm so happy for this man. So happy for this man. And I'm really glad that Stipe's eye is healed, and that he's going to be okay from his detached or torn retina. It was pretty bad from what I understand. So hopefully DC can keep those fingers in and everything just goes perfect this time. I'm really excited. It's going to be, if I had to get, they left it very vague with only the summer. But if I had to guess, it'll probably be the end of July, early August. End of July, early August. If I had to put a time on it. Now, let me say this. I'm going to go ahead and say that if DC wrestles in this one, he'll win. If DC can wrestle in this one, he'll pull out the decision. There's not going to be any knockouts. Everybody's felt everybody's power. It's going to go to decision. You heard it here first. Edson Barboza wants out of the UFC. This is a real weird one, guys. Like, I don't know why Edson Barboza wants to get out of the UFC. If I had to guess, it probably has something to do with him going down to 145. It's a funny one because he's always seemed to have a great relationship with him. Like, he's never said anything bad. He's always talked good about him. But I mean, he made it public. You know, it wasn't like a manager type ordeal, you know, saying something to the press. It was really weird. So I think with as far as good as Edson's been for so long, you know, he's been in the UFC for 10 years now, right? I think they'll probably release him. Or make him fight one more fight and release him then. And he'll go to Bellator. And he'll do real good there. Either Bellator or the PFL. He might want to go to the PFL and do that $1 million deal. Because a lot of those guys over there that are winning the tournament with the $1 million and also their contracted, you know, amount, that's you don't get a better deal than that. Like $1 million, and then let's just say you make $100 million with your contract. Like, how much better are you going to get? Like, then you got all your sponsors and all that. Like, Edson Barboza could go over there and get paid $140,000 to fight, win the tournament, get $1 million, make $150 in sponsors, go home and bathe in his money, like, just for one fight. You know, what an awesome paycheck. I think he would do good. I mean, you know, the $1 million would be for the whole, you know, winning the tournament, but the other monies would be just from that one fight. So I think Edson might go to the PFL. You sit back and you think about this, he's more likely to go to Bellator. But he might just go to the PFL. Because a lot of people like Rory, that $1 million, it's a big weight. It's a big green weight. and a lot of people like it, you know. They like that setup. They like that season. They like that format. And they do good in it. So but you know, Scott Coker, I can't see him missing Edson Barboza. It's just too big of a prospect. He'll throw money at him. And I could see Edson being champ over there at Bellator. Like, he's that good. He might be, you know, if he went over to the Bellator right now, he would be their best striker in their division at 155. He would walk in there and be their best striker immediately. He's just that good. So I find it so weird, though. It's so puzzling. I guess nobody knew how unhappy he was. Why is he this unhappy? It's funny in a way. Like, why? How did the relationship get this bad? I don't get it. I don't understand. I hadn't seen this coming. Well, maybe we'll find out later. I don't know. It's just weird. But good luck to Edson Barboza. Yoshihiro Akiyama Sexyama scores his first knockout since leaving the UFC. Guys, how awesome is that? Sexyama, the man that went toe-to-toe with the crippler, Chris Lieben, just got his knockout, first one since leaving the UFC. How awesome is that, man? How awesome is that? I'm just a huge fan of Sexyama. He stole my heart with that fight against the crippler. He always was a guy that came in and gave 150% no matter what, you know. And to see him go in there and do that at his age, hats off to that man, and more power to him. Always supporting the Sexyama over here, baby. Yoel Romero explains why he never went up to 205. This is a good time to do this one because of everything that just went down. We can get into that a little bit too, I guess. So Yoel Romero explains why he never went up to 205, and he says because when he's in camp, in the heat of camp, he's right at 210 to 208 pounds. And what I have to say to that is, Yoel, have you not heard of natural weight fighters such as Justin Gaethje? And we have more and more. Dan Henderson was a fine example of a natural 205er. I mean, there's a lot of guys like this. So you just have to, it makes you scratch your head, right? Like, come on, man. You would be a monster up there, like a monster. And especially now after he lost to Izzy. I've said it, and, you know, I thought he landed the bigger strikes in that fight, but it was so close that, you know, I definitely do not think he should be getting all of the heat for, you know, how boring of a, and it was boring. But, you know, like, I don't think he should be getting all of the heat for that. Like, he's receiving so much of it, you know? And I don't think it's right, but he would do so good at 205. He wouldn't have to worry so much about his cardio. And that would be a huge benefit. A huge benefit to him being up there. So, I really don't understand it. He needs to take advantage of that, I think, especially now with the, you know, the title situation and Dana White. Dana could very well be a stickler with that and never give him another title shot. We know how vengeful Dana can be. That's all I'm saying about that, you know, like, Dana can hold a grudge, for sure. Now, as far as all of these people taking Israel's side, I really believe Yoel had a specific game plan. He had a specific game plan. He carried out that game plan. Big Dan wanted to just go in there and kind of mess with that a little bit. And the crowd messed with it a little bit. But we can't... What are we supposed to do about that, you know? Like, these people work so hard to get to that spot. With these people working so hard to get to that spot, we cannot, you know, like, these people, guys, he can't throw his game plan out the window. He can't just do that. Like, what is Yoel supposed to do? Israel did not want to come in to Yoel's power. Yoel had to carry out that game plan. So we have to respect that. Luis Pena says he wouldn't watch his fight with Steve Garcia. Now, I don't agree with this. First of all, like everybody always says, you got to get the win. You have to secure the win. Now, we saw a side of him we've never seen before. We haven't really seen his grappling. I mean, and he was just holding position after position after position after position. And I'll tell you right now, his back control was awesome. I think that Pena showing how good his grappling is at the UFC level that I have never seen before is right now something that we can all work with as fans. I mean, you have to take what you can get sometimes as a fan. And people don't understand that. Like, you can't always have blood and guts. If you're a fan of Luis Pena, you have to respect his grappling. We haven't seen his grappling really in the UFC. We get to see his grappling in this fight. We need to eat that up. Oh, thank you, Pena. We never really seen this from you in the UFC. Man, I wasn't expecting this from you this fight. Thank you so much for this. Not, I wouldn't watch that fight. No, man. The grappling aspect is a part of mixed martial arts. Think of it that way, Pena. Come on, dude. This is a side of you that we have not got to see from you yet, and in the UFC, and we wanted to see that. So I could take a sip of my bang to that. Meatball Molly McCann is looking forward to her bout with Ashley Evans Smith in London on March 31st. Now, let me go ahead and say this here. Meatball Molly McCann is probably going to be the first British woman champion. You heard it here first, person. You heard it here first. She's good. She's really good. She's really good. And I believe that the main thing is she gets better every single time. And she is a fundamentally superb striker. And she can take a shot, and she gets better every single time. And I believe that a person that can constantly improve is a person that, you know, is built for success. And Molly McCann is always wanting to improve. Every time she's just always working at getting better. And every time she steps into the octagon, she is leaps and bounds better than what she was the time before. That. You know who else was like that? Israel Adesanya. So, I'm just saying. I think Molly McCann is showing signs that she might be championship level material one day. She's only had a few fights in the UFC, and every time she is, way better. Way better. I'm just saying, way better. I'm looking forward to that fight. Looking really forward to it. And I'm picking her, needless to say. Should check out those odds. Marlon Moraes versus Peter Yan to headline UFC Kazakhstan. Alright, so Marlon Moraes, first of all, coming off the win versus Jose Aldo, which I thought was a draw. We don't have enough draws in the UFC. I don't know if I've said that before or not. This is a... If there was perfect matchmaking, this is it. Marlon Moraes versus Peter Yan is perfect matchmaking. Even though Peter Yan should be fighting for the title, this is brilliant matchmaking. I don't know. I do not know who is going to win this fight. We will see how good Peter Yan's chin is, because he is going to get kicked in the head, and we'll find out if he can eat it or not, because it'll feel like a 155er kicking him in the head. And so if he can eat a kick from Marlon Moraes, he'll get to go fight Henry Cejudo most likely. Just saying. If not, he'll wake up staring in at the ceiling in Kazakhstan. I don't know. This is a great matchup. I mean, this is perfect matchmaking. You know, right now, sitting here, I think Yan probably could pull it out. But, dude, perfect. I mean, brilliant matchmaking. We might have to see a little bit more wrestling from Peter Yan. I know his boxing is superb, but Marlon Moraes isn't just going to stand there and box and range with him. You know, he's going to be throwing switch kicks. He's going to be throwing front kicks. He's going to be throwing roundhouses. He's going to be throwing every kick in the book at Peter Yan. And if Peter Yan for a second stands in front of him, he will get knocked unconscious. I can't believe he took this fight. He should have a title fight. But this is great. You know, I want to see this fight. People of Kazakhstan are lucky. Oh my goodness. I really don't know. I don't know who's going to win. So I'm not going to say yet. Let's say that it won't go to decision. Let's just say that right now. And let's also say that if you've liked what you've heard so far, give the video a like. And if you want more MMA content then subscribe to the channel. And also, guys, Bang energy drinks, they're in the link below. Also, All American Hemp CBD gummies, they're in the link below, guys. And also, guys, we will see you later in the week.